Dearly beloved, would you allow me this aside? My heart is deeply troubled these days. Don't be put on edge. I will speak gently. But I feel there's been far too much rejoicing over the suffering of others of late. I see, for instance, online there are many liberals celebrating the loss of health care access in small rural conservative communities because, quote, they got what they voted for. I see conservatives celebrating the creation of new prisons to be filled with those who failed to strictly adhere to our complicated immigration system. I see glee and rejoicing in the suffering of others. I see vitriol, I see mockery, I see name-calling coming from both sides. And I wonder if this is what Washington meant when he said to frown upon the first dawning of every attempt to alienate any portion of our country from the rest. Or what Jesus meant when he said, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, do good to those who despise you. I'm not saying any of you do these things necessarily, but today I have a voice, I have a pulpit, and I have a camera. And I intend to use it to speak Jesus' gospel message of love for one another into a world that more and more often seems bent instead on destroying one another. I pray you find this speech not off-putting, but rather inspirational. I say this not of my own volition, but because I believe that God has called me to say it, as God has called many others throughout the generations to speak love and life into a world often overcome by the powers and principalities of darkness. I do this not because I want to be remembered, but because I hope for a future where the light of God's love for all of creation burns brighter and stronger than any of that darkness. And if in 1,000 years or even in 100, my name has been lost to history, but my message, which is not my message, but God's message passing through me, if that message of extravagant, overwhelming love for all others carries on, it will be a grand legacy indeed. And I will consider my life to be a resounding success.